Okay, so we are all filled up, full tank of gas here. Should be about 200 to 300 miles, I think closer to 200 miles here to Hampton Beach, New Hampshire, leaving from Vermont. Excited for it. It's such a nice day out, so I'm excited to get the nice views. But I'll see you guys in about 3 hours. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. Hope everyone's doing great today. I'm feeling good. Really excited to dive into this tutorial for you guys. Hope you guys liked that little vlog there at the beginning of the video. Just wanted to showcase my travels a little bit, heading from Vermont to the Casino Ballroom in New Hampshire. But anyways, let's dive into what we're going to be talking about today, which is creating whip pan transitions inside of Premiere Pro and After Effects. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do it in Premiere Pro as well. A lot of people are intimidated by After Effects. Take my word for it. You don't need to be. I'm going to walk you step by step on how to do it here. If this video ends up helping you, consider leaving it a like and subscribing if you want to see more from me. I really appreciate you guys. You can also find my Instagram and my socials in the description below. First things first, I have these two clips selected here. I'm going to bring them into After Effects, which you can do with any of your clips that you're going to bring into there. All I'm going to do is just highlight them, right click, and replace with an After Effects composition, which will automatically import them in there for you. All right, so I just imported the clips from Premiere Pro into After Effects. Shout out Chris, the DJ from this show. Great guy. We can see he does a nice swipe to the left here. So we're going to create a whip pan from right to left. So find the point on where you want your whip to start. Mine is about right here as his hand starts whipping. We're going to open up our layer here and just go to the transform options. I'm going to keyframe the position here and drag it out to one frame before the end, and then we're going to start dragging this position pretty close to halfway. Make sure you just drag out this keyframe all the way out to the end. So now we have this whip effect, but we still got a few steps we need to do. Go ahead and go into your effects and presets and look up the motion tile and just click and drag that onto your clip here. Now we're going to set the width and the height to 300, and we're going to mirror the edges, which now you can see because we had that empty black space, this motion tile tool fills in that black space for us and basically mirrors the clip. Now all we need to do is go into our second clip, open up the transform just like we did, and for this clip we're going to move it to the right because it's going to be coming from right to left. So I'm going to move it out roughly to the same position where we were on the last clip, keyframe it, and I'm going to go out like 4 or 5 frames, right click, and just reset. So let's grab the motion tile from our first clip. Just click on the motion tile and press Ctrl C to copy it. Come over to our second clip and Ctrl V to paste it. You can see it filled in that black space for us. Now you'll see if we scroll through this, we have a whip transition. That looks pretty nice. Depending on how fast or slow you want this whip to be, you just need to move your keyframe values around. So if I want to make this second portion shorter, just drag this keyframe closer. Feel free to play around with those keyframe distances and just find which one looks best to you. So now we have a quick right to left whip, but we can make this look even better. So let's go ahead and click on this keyframe, and I'm just going to F9 it, which will ease it. I'm going to do the same thing on the last keyframe here. F9, which is on the second clip. It just looks a little smoother. I feel like that looks better. Now I've actually had it activated this whole time, but you can turn on the motion blur icons right here if you turn that on or off. So all you need to do is just click those icons to turn on the motion blur, and then it'll kind of add that in for you. And I feel like that looks really nice. Now a lot of people don't know this, but you can change the intensity of the motion blur inside of After Effects. It's really easy. Just go up to your composition and then your settings and click on advanced here and set your shutter angle to either 90, 180, or 360. 90, 180, 360, choose any one of them. You want more motion blur, choose 360. If you want that happy middle ground, choose 180. So same thing here, guys. I took these two clips from Premiere Pro, highlighted them, right clicked, put them into an After Effects composition. So now instead of doing a side to side whip pan, we're going to do an up and down whip pan. So I'm going to come out like 5 frames here, and we're going to open up the first clip and just open up the transform. So I want this clip to go down. So we're going to keyframe the position, come a little bit out, and then we're going to move this value down. I'm gonna move it to right about here. Just make sure to bring that keyframe all the way out again. Now let's go ahead and just bring that motion tile back onto our clip. We're doing the same exact thing, setting these both to 300. Just make sure to click mirror edges. So now when we go down, it starts to mirror that clip you can see at the end here. Now let's go into our second clip here, and we need to actually move this up. So I'm gonna move it up to around where it cut off in the first clip. Then we're just gonna keyframe the position, go out 4 or 5 frames, just like on the first one, right click and reset it. Can't forget we need to grab our motion tile from the first clip, just copy paste it onto our second clip here. So now we have an up and down whip pan, but it's a little too slow for me, so I'm actually going to shorten the keyframe. So I'm going to bring this out. So we're 1, 2, 3 keyframes over on the second clip, and I'm going to shorten this on the first one too. But as we did on the first one, we're going to spice this up a little bit, make it look better. Let's F9 that first keyframe and F9 that last keyframe, which is going to ease the keyframes for us. Now let's just go ahead and turn on motion blur, as I was saying, for both of these clips. And there you go. Now you have an up to down whip pan. I feel like that looks really cool, really easy. The motion blur really helps hide that mirroring effect. You have a lot of different parameters that you can play around with. Like I said, the keyframing, the motion blur amount. Just a quick little side note, if you want to add some impact to this whip pan, we can also do a quick little zoom in. So say we go back into the second clip here, keyframe the scale, and line it up with this. Let's go to like 150. We're going to ease that one as well. Now with that zoom in, if we play through it, we just have a nice whip pan zoom in. So as I've been saying, guys, there's a lot of ways that you can spice up this transition playing with keyframes. If you guys want more ideas or more tutorials on how you can go about keyframing, I have a bunch more videos on my channel where I go over a ton of different keyframing techniques. Definitely feel free to go check those out. Even on this first clip, we could do the same thing. Let's go and line up our keyframes here, keyframe the scale, then just go out. And let's just set it to say like 140. We're going to ease that one. Now we have an even cooler transition. It's as simple as that. Adding little keyframes like that to the scale can really bring these transitions to a whole nother level. Now let's move back into Premiere Pro, because I know a lot of you guys will be using this instead. It's a little different inside of Premiere Pro. It's not going to look as smooth if you ask me, but let's do it anyways. So first thing you need to do is just create an adjustment layer, which you can do by pressing this adjustment layer and pressing OK, making sure it matches your sequence settings. So drag your adjustment layer on top here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and the same thing on the other side, 1, 2, 3, and cut that. So now we have this adjustment layer over the top, which lines up perfectly between the two clips here. Now let's grab the offset tool from Premiere Pro underneath distort and drag that onto our adjustment layer, and we're also going to drag on Gaussian blur. So let's go to the beginning of the adjustment layer here, and we're going to keyframe the shift center. We're going to do an up and down transition, so we're going to move this value and keep moving it until that clip lines up with the bottom of our frame. So now there's a full shift to that second clip. Make sure to drag this keyframe all the way out. So now we have that effect, but we need to add some motion blur to it to clean it up. So we have this Gaussian blur here. Let's keyframe the blurriness at the beginning and go 3 frames out, and make sure to set this blur dimension to vertical because we're going up and down. And then we're going to up that blurriness to as high as we want it. Let's just say we put it to 250 here, and then go out and reset it and just drag this all the way to the end. You can go ahead and highlight these keyframes and just Bezier all of them. I use Gaussian blur here, but say you have real smart motion blur like I do, you can just drag that onto the adjustment layer instead. And I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do it side to side as well. It's really not that much different. So let's say we want to do a side to side this time. First things first, just change your blur dimension to horizontal because we're moving left to right. Let's do the same thing, keyframe the shift center, come out just to the end, and then we're going to move this value. Keep dragging it until that frame lines up with the frame over here. So now that's lined up. So now we've got that side to side transition. Again, we're going to keyframe the blurriness on the Gaussian blur, go 3 frames out, just up it again, put about right here, reset it, and then drag it out, and just make sure to Bezier all of those keyframes. Personally, I like to do it in After Effects. I feel like it looks better. I hope I was able to convince some of you guys out there to dive into After Effects, because I know when I first started, I was pretty intimidated by it. But once you start getting around to using it, once you understand the effects, it's really not that intimidating. Well guys, that's all I've got for you today as far as whip pan transitions. I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, consider leaving the video a like and subscribing if you want to see more from me. I really appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know if this video helped you guys in the comments below. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.